Corbin's calling the shots, right? Now that's not true. Baron Corbin, Paige, they are not, they're just characters. Like they're not actually declared. None of these matches are really things that they're doing. But okay, with the characters, they're in charge. But then, so there was couple of things that stood out to me. One was him calling out stuff like Brock Lesnar's never here, which is so predates Baron Corbin. I guess he's saying now he's the champ again. But again, it's like, are you getting into the fact that the matches are predetermined? Like, are you basically like,
yeah,
wrote it?
He was balancing on a really weird tightrope because, yeah, like you said, well, I guess you could say that, Baron Corbin hit Braun with the title at Crown Jewel and caused him to lose. But when he's actually, first of all, we know who's to blame for Raw sucking. It's not Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin is now being storyline blamed for what's Vince's fault.
Sure.
And that's weird in itself. But then, yeah, it's not just Baron Corbin, you're a bad booker. You are a bad writer of segments and creative ideas. Like, he's basically putting creative on Corbin. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's as if creative is now has a body and a face you could punch. It's like it becomes a person.
But then it gets even stranger again. Sort of reality breaking, and I'll tell you the one that really stood out to me, bringing up the urine, because in the fictional reality of Raw, it's like Drake just did that himself, right? It's like, now you could argue they should have cut away, but like as far as what we're to believe happened, but he was putting that on Baron again as if to say you told him to pee on the robe. Or you wrote it that way.
Yeah, he never really pissed himself. It was all artifice. It was a fake stream when he had the toilet. It was something in his pants. Like, he's calling out the fact that it was all fake. Meanwhile, that storyline has dropped it completely. The whole Authors of Apocalypse thing, they don't even allude to that anymore.
Right.
And why, so then there's the other element of why does, Seth cares about the show and doing well, but then also, why does he care about Lucha House Party rules, and why does he all of a sudden also care about the Revival, who are, I guess, still heels, but that's a very, like, it's one thing for him to be on a show and not like the fact that there's a lot of urine. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'd rather be on a non-urine brand, but then when he comes to the defense of like a team that fans really like that aren't being serviced well on the card, that in storyline he's had really nothing to do with or previously stated he was a fan of. Yeah. And it's really only us weird internet fans who complaining about Lucha House Party rules and how shitty it all is. But yeah, why would Seth Rollins care about that? Why would he care about the good guys winning in sort of a cheating fashion? That's weird. Because then he's like, he's actually calling out Corbin. It's like, what is a Lucha House Party rule? It's very strange. The whole thing.
It was very strange. Yes. Yeah, because it's like how much do they want to acknowledge like the writing of the show within the show? And I know there's been other times where they've kind of gone into weird places with that, but this was very strange because at the end of the day, it was supposed to be like, right now, their top baby face, like calling out like this bad guy, but it just got into this very strange, reality bending place that I didn't quite understand.
I just noticed that I might sound strange this week too. I'm not stopping the podcast or doing anything crazy like that, but
that'd be crazy.
I might be sounding strange too because I don't hear my own voice in my headphones. So it could be that my mic is only picking up you, but not recording me, and I'm using my Mac mic, in which case we're both going to sound like utter shit this week, but we're moving forward.
Yes.
TLC, the last pay-per-view, or they actually just started calling them events on air, like the TLC event. I mean,
pay-per-view is makes no sense, even though it's so hard to drop the habit of saying it, Yeah,
I just say it all the time. Yeah. So it's the final event of the year. I guess if you don't count Tribute to the Troops, which will be a 2-hour special next week. When is WWE Week? I don't remember. But yeah, they've got WWE Week on USA. The last year they can do that, by the way. Come holiday season, they can't do it next year because SmackDown will not be on USA. So they have USA, they got SmackDown, they've got a bunch of Rock movies, which they're counting as part of WWE Week. And they've got, are you ready for this, Eric? the New Day's 2018 pancake-powered year-end super spectacular.
As long as it's not urine's powered, I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's pancake-powered. They haven't. Yeah.
Okay.
They talked about booty. They talked about booty for a long time, but that's as close as they got to that region of the body. And quickly before we break down the TLC card, Big Cass at a House of Hardcore event that it's Tommy Dreamer's deal. He collapsed, having a seizure in the lobby during an intermission during the show, and had to be rushed to the hospital. And I briefly, before the podcast, tried to find an update. I haven't found one other than Tommy Dreamer tweeting out that he is fine, quote, fine, like he visited him in the hospital the next day, but no reason as to what caused the seizure. People were told right out of the gate that it wasn't substance related or anything like that. Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know what's up with Big Cass, and that sort of sucks. Just random seizures are never good. I'm going to stake that claim right now. I'm going to plant my flag in that one. Random seizures, not good.
I concur.
So a few other, the only other news is that AJ Styles' WrestleMania opponent right now is rumored to be Randy Orton, which makes me very unexcited. I'm sorry to break that news to you. I think that's the collective noise everyone made when they heard that.
Yeah.
Just Randy Orton in anything. That's the noise.
Except when Bray Wyatt can make like snakes appear underneath him with a power he didn't use again. But
the bugs, the WrestleMania bugs. Oh, when will the WrestleMania bugs return, Eric?
Right,
WrestleMania.
Right. One would hope.
I guess we'll start with the two big manly man matches on the card. We'll start with Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. These have no stipulations on the TLC card. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose is just a one-on-one match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, by the way, one little quick thing back to the Seth Baron Corbin segment. Wasn't it weird when Seth was like, coward, which was like exactly what Daniel Bryan did with Miz a few months ago? And kind of Daniel Bryan's deal of repeating words.
Yeah, fickle, coward. Yeah, he does love repeating things. I mean, he says the yes movement's dead, but it lives on in other ways.
Right, but he specifically had a thing when he kept calling Miz coward. So it was just weird when I just see Seth doing it just a few months later. Anyway.
Side quest, what's going on with the Miz storyline? It's kind of weird. I only bring that up because he doesn't have a match at this event, so there's nothing really to call back to on SmackDown. But his thing continuing with Shane McMahon, that's kind of comedy because he's acting like they're a couple and the trophy is their kid. And he's like, I have visitation rights with the trophy, and really wants them to be a tag team, which feels very un-Miz. And then this week he gave this weird backstage explanation for it, is because nobody ever considered him best in the world until now. Which is kind of sad. Like he was.
It is. Yeah.
He was very sad when he said that. I was like, oh, sweet summer Miz baby. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk walking away Bruce Banner music or David Banner music is always a good default sad song.
It is.
But yeah, so I don't know what's going on. All I know is that I didn't like the fact that Paige did not pay the Vegas boys.
That was weird.
Pay them what they're owed.
I know, like it's not their fault that Miz lied to them.
Yeah, justice for the Vegas boys.
Like, shouldn't it be the opposite? It should be like, okay, we're going to pay them, but Miz, you're punished, or you're even like,
or take it out of Miz's paycheck.
Yeah, that was so strange.
Oh, that is
sorry, local talent, you just got screwed by the band. Oh, like that was the weird takeaway from that.
Oof, Paige, that was a savage heel turn.
Yeah.
Now, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. I don't know if this is meant to keep going. You know what I mean? Is this meant to keep going on?
I would think so. The weird thing to me in the build up to this is how they haven't had a big one-on-one, heated talking to each other that would turn to violence. They've had them separate, and then they've had them get physical, like sneak attacks. But there's never been them in the ring, just like having like a big, confrontation before they got physical. And that just seems very strange to me. I don't know why they've done it that way. And that also makes me think it can't be done yet, but I don't know. It's again, the Royal Rumble is a weird factor because everything sort of turns towards it. Now, of course, Royal Rumble has other matches, and there are people that have other matches and then still are in the Royal Rumble. Like a lot of times people will have be in 2 matches the night of the Rumble. So there's no reason they can't have this continue there. I hope it continues just because I think it's unsatisfying right now, mostly because of how they've kept them apart so much.
But Seth, with Roman out and Braun Strowman, who's apparently supposed to wrestle this match, which I hope is not a long one, against Baron Corbin, since we just watched Corbin go through a long TLC match that he already lost. By the way, we're going to watch him lose twice in TLCs. So he's the top babyface on Raw. Are they going to keep him in a storyline with Dean Ambrose, who's not the top heel?
Right.
That's my question, because if Braun is back and ready to go and he can be on TV and everything's fine, then yeah, they can keep him with Ambrose. But if not, they got to move him.
Yeah.
There was weird this week when so Dean was backstage. He still had his Bane jacket on. And Charlie Caruso was like, Dean, I want to know what your thoughts on this. And she proceeded to show him like a 5-minute video package of the entire journey of his heel turn.
It was a lot.
What if she was like, just showed him a bunch of pictures of sandwiches? Like, what do you think of this, Dean? He's like, oh, these are
And then
great.
They come back and he's got like a single tear running down his face.
He's like, this beautiful montage of sandwiches. Yeah, like, why would he stand there and watch a, well put together, granted, WWE package about his entire journey of treachery?
Yeah. It's more like, hey, I want to show you a rough cut of what we're going to show as the lead into your match on Sunday.
Yeah, what do you think of this?
Any thoughts on the edit? Is there anything where you should put a little more in, a little less in?
What if he was like, you're right, none of this makes sense. Now that I see it, now that I actually see what I'm doing, I don't even know why I'm doing it.
Right?
But I was very surprised. I really wanted them to cut back to her, and he was gone. He's like, I was going to watch a minute, but this is really long, by the way.
Yawn.
Yeah. Or he just had a weird hat and pipe and monocle or something.
Or she's looking around for him, and you see him like hiding behind something in the back. Like,
is this because of your love of that Jason Momoa hide and seek?
It's so funny. I'm gonna find this guy. I want to find this.
Let people know what you're talking about.
There, SNL, which I didn't think was a great episode. SNL. Look, I am never one of those like, oh, SNL's not as great as it used to be. SNL, what they do every week is a lot of hard work, and of course they have better weeks than some. But it's like every year there's still like a good handful of sketches that everyone's talking about. So the Jason Momoa episode, and I thought he did a really good job. He was going for it. The episode in general wasn't great, but there was a pre-tape sketch that had to be a Kyle Moonen. Beckett? Am I saying his name right? It feels completely like they were the ones behind it because they make the weird stuff where Jason Momoa, wearing in like a salt and with gray hair and a beard, comes over to meet his daughter's new boyfriend, who's so nervous about meeting his girlfriend's parents for the first time that not only does he hide, but he's like calling out to them with this weird like, come and find me.
Yeah, he
like, silly voice.
This guy just decides to play hide and seek with his potential future father-in-law.
Yeah,
but like in a weird, creepy, cutesy way. Yeah,
in Beck Bennett. I said Beckett. But anyway, but then the extra joke, the thing that makes it kind of one of their sketches, I think, is that Jason Momoa playing this like dad is suddenly like excited, like he loves that he's got to find this guy, and it becomes this big game for him. and they play off the fact that he's Jason Momoa, so he's huge and buff, so he's like literally tearing the house apart to try to find it, but enthusiastically, but then with frustration because he can't find it. And it made me laugh a lot.
You can find it online. Yeah, but that would have been funny if Dean had greased himself up and hid behind something.
You can't find me.
That would make more sense than what's happening.
Right?
So, Okay, we'll mention also in between here, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, very quickly, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable won the tag team